You did it. You're here. You're back on the podcast with us today. It's a two-man booth. We've got Alistair. We've got Jeffrey. Christopher is away on leave because now that Vince has left, people can actually take breaks. Alistair, isn't that right?
That's right. You just the two-man power trip today.
A two-man power trip. The gang does Backlash predictions, but we're still going to maybe call this the Cultural Mania content predictions half hour. We have got the spreadsheet up, the spreadsheet of doom, terror, archiving from back in the earliest days of the pandemic. Not the earliest, to be fair. It was quite a ways through the pandemic when we really got it together and realized this was a thing. Yeah. But we've been doing it for quite a few years now, Alistair. When Christopher said he couldn't make it, I was like, yeah, it's no fuss. I think the big achievement, whether we do an accompanying podcast or not, is the fact we've kept these predictions up for so many years. Mad.
Yeah, and we've got Chris's predictions, so we're not without exactly. The third person.
He is here. He's very much a Big E today.
Yeah, he's very much Big E today. Yeah,
he's not here, but we'll roast him and chat shit, and that's how he's Big E. But yeah, I'm telling you now, mate. I have a thing about Backlash, just for a quick overview at the start, which is Mania can sometimes be for the hardcores.
Yeah.
And then Backlash, it's lowest of keys, but we're kind of back to business and we're kind of back to being for the hardcores. What do you think?
Yeah, Backlash is that for the casuals. It's a casual show. They want to see the celeb match, the sort of the part-timers, the sponsorship. And then you get back to a regular show.
Exactly.
And you need to be a bit more hooked in. You need to.
That's right. You need to know what's up.
Stuff, yeah.
Yeah. No, they just want to see Stone Cold dressed up as a prime bottle or whatever the fuck Jake Paul was talking about. But we're here for the graps. We're here for what's Karrion Kross really saying. We're here for.
God, I wish.
Yeah, you did get your wish, buddy. Your wish being that he got involved. So my take on that was the involvement itself was like actually quite meh and mid and a letdown, but not his fault, by the way. The whole match was a bit like, why isn't this as fun as I wanted it to be? But then that post everything promo he did with Sam and Megan, were you watching that as a fan, just like, yes, my boy did me proud?
Yeah, it's good to see him get some shine, get some rub. Like I feel like he will. The fact that he didn't go in the releases, but he will get a little bit more shine and probably a shot at some point at some kind of something. Maybe if AJ wins this into Continental eventually, that'll be a challenger.
Potentially, is there a briefcase in his future even?
Oh, hello.
That's
a shout. I hadn't even been thinking about
that. That would be wild. I'm projecting, obviously. Things would have to continue in terms of momentum. But I think it's really interesting that like how much the fan base is getting behind him. And he's like, even though he's built like a tank, he's like the plucky underdog now. I think he even put up his own, I haven't watched it yet, he even put up his own documentary, a mini doc about his experience at WrestleMania week, just on his own YouTube channel. Like he's really going out of his way to engage with the fan base on his own terms.
Maybe he's in the match. I can't see him winning the briefcase.
Yeah, too
maybe
far.
He's in the match. Yeah, maybe he's in the match. Should we quickly say who won WrestleMania?
Yeah, bro. Oh, please. I did. I can see why you're bringing this up because I looked this morning and you yet again get the win, but also me and Chris were tied.
Sad, yeah. 15 for me, 12 for each of you.
That's wild,
total
bro.
Points.
That's wild.
I had a clean sweep night one, so I was very happy.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I was looking at some of them are really funny. Like we got all the obvious, like we all knew John Cena was doing it. None of us obviously were going to know that they were going to do Bailey like that and bring Becky in. So that obviously would have made that a bit clearer. But yeah, no, it was a clean sweep for your boy. Did we all get a bit muddled on night two?
Yeah, it was all a bit all over the place. I think we all got Cena, we all got Drew, and that was it. We did. We all got Io Sky. I think that's an achievement for us.
Yeah, true. Because that was a bit all over the shop, wasn't it? Even we didn't do the podcast with it, but interestingly, we did our NXTs. We're starting to do NXTs now, and actually, we all did rather poor on that. I think we all got about 50%. So that was enjoyably unpredictable. I can't believe I was off with the president would attend. I was like, that'll be my sneaky win where they're both not expecting it, and then I was wrong. Fantastic. Oh, I think that the one thing we got to give it up for, I wonder your take on this is, even if there's lots of debate about Joe Hendry being the guy to show up against Randy, there's lots of like Meltzer's out here saying it made him look like a nerd. I'm out here saying that was just a really fun moment. Stop complaining about everything, and lots of argument in between. But the one thing you've got to say is, in terms of just the surprise, no one was saying that name. We didn't say that name.
No,
that was a good pop. I liked it.
It is a good pop. People love Joe Hendry, even if no one takes him that seriously. They just love Joe Hendry, and I think it less made Joe Hendry look like a nerd, more like make TNA look like a nerd.
Yeah, I think that might be what Meltzer's saying, is like he's their champ, but I don't like.
Yeah, I mean, here's our world champ. Come and beat him in 3 minutes. Someone who hasn't been near a world title for 6 or 7 years.
But, I mean, it's already a really funny thing in wrestling 2025 that a character like that would be world champ. His whole thing is pretty comedy and pretty, so it makes sense. It's funny, we all warp kayfabe to work in our own heads, right? So I can see an old head like Meltzer getting proper stress, and I'm just like, cool.
But he's gone back to where he was before, which is straight back to 6-man with Hank the Tank. You know.
We got a big Hank the Tank honking Ali over here. And he's honking, projecting yet another victory. We'll start at the bottom of the card, and then after we get to the main event, we'll do our bonus questions, and we'll lead in with Christopher's pick. Christopher, for Gunther versus Pat McAfee, has shockingly gone for Gunther. Christopher has a lot of picks that we might struggle to differ with, but let's take it one at a time. I'm also saying Gunther. Ali, how about you?
I will also say Gunther. I can't see it going any elsewhere.
No.
Unless they're doing a trilogy.
I take it. That'd be brilliant. And then they finish with an Iron Man match. Fucking brilliant. No, it's like this. I like. I don't know where you stand on it, but the Pat McAfee promos get a lot of attention and a lot of different takes. I get a lot of different passionate takes. I think they're cool, but a lot of people hate them. That's cool. Yeah, he's definitely impassioned, and he speaks with that cadence. He clearly knows wrestling and fans, and he's been growing up watching it. So, like, I enjoy.
Yeah, I've been an NFL fan. I've always
of course,
been aware of Pat McAfee and have been a fan. Like he grates occasionally on me. Or he'll get stuck on a specific thing, like when he was on about the Canadian fans booing the American anthem, and just wouldn't get off that at Elimination Chamber. But other than that, I find him mostly entertaining. I've never, and it's gonna be not his worst ever wrestling match. So. You know.
Wait, he's had two. He had Adam Cole, which I remember being lit during pandemic era. And who else does he have?
Well, I'd argue
Oscar
he's
Theory?
had three. Yeah, I'd argue he's had three.
Yeah.
And the other one was Vince McMahon.
Vince! I forgot the Vince. Oh, mate, what an actual clusterfuck of a thing. Nah, we've been through some eras out here, bro. That was wild. I'll never actually forget leaving my body when Vince took that final stunner and just slumped into a puddle of flesh. Oh my god. Do you know what though? I will say I always think it's really interesting where they're going to take angles after Mania, and the whole Raw after Mania. I think, would you agree that was probably the hottest Raw after Mania in many a year?
Yeah, absolutely. It was. Yeah.
So with that said, Gunther and Pat, I thought, doing the whole Cole saying, "Hey, I'm not the one who tapped out," and it's like, "Oh, Cole, why would you say that?" It's brilliant. I actually really enjoyed this as a feud. By one little, just like, it's almost like just nitpicking is like, if you needed the star power, could Pat not have done a Mania thing? That's a bit interesting to me. But hey, maybe they had enough for Mania, and now they're bringing it up here. The first week they did the angle, Ali, I actually thought they were writing Pat off TV for a bit with he proper beat him down, and then I was really pleasantly surprised.
I thought that was. I thought about it, and that was a bit too early in the year because he does college football on a Saturday, which will start around early August. So that they'll probably do something similar, and maybe they'll bring it back then.
Okay, but like just the the places they've taken it, letting Gunther, who just got tapped out, be an absolute warlike, just ogre of just heroic brutality against White Knight Pat, who's standing up for Michael Cole. Suddenly we're really overdoing the Michael Cole is the GOAT stuff. I've got to say, it works for me. It's kind of some of the best stuff going. I just think it's really fun. It's a really fun angle to do.
Yeah, I think it'll rehabilitate Gunther a little bit.
Yes.
Because he was I don't think his title run was that great. And then some of the build up to the J match made him look a bit chumpy, other than the Jimmy murder
at London. I literally I was there live, and just like I don't know if it was as awkward how long it went on watching it on TV as it was in person, but that beatdown went on for time.
No, because on TV you could hear Jay and Gunther jawing at each other.
Right.
Obviously in the arena you can't hear that. Yeah.
But I guess is this part of the appeal for you too, Ali? Even the build-up's good, such different promo styles. For the last couple of years, I've been stunned by Walter and Gunther's growth at the promo game in his second language. So so much contrasting stuff I love. But now the match itself, sometimes I'm a bit like, it's always interesting to me, the build-up versus what the match will be. Like sometimes it's like a straight up line. Sometimes it's like very contrasting, like, Cena and Cody talked a big game and then they had that match. But for me, it's the obvious take, but after a really, really fun build up, I just want Gunther to kick the shit out of this guy.
Yeah, I think it'll be entertaining. You need some kind of hope spots.
Yeah.
And not just him killing him in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It needs to be 7 to 10.
Yeah. And maybe Pat gets off a few gasp moments. He's got either a drop kick in him, or didn't he do against Adam Cole? He did a Panama Sunrise from the top.
Yeah. And he's got a swanton in him, I think. That kind of stuff. Just he needs a near fall, but because Gunther is probably one of the best sellers.
Yeah.
For a big man, so he can sell for Pat. Or maybe bring in he needs to steal Randy's punt.
Oh, mate.
Because
that's such a shout, the Pat punt.
He was a punter in the NFL.
He's the punter in the NFL. I can't even think what his signature move was in the few matches he's had. All I know is he had the actual White Stripes riff for one event and then did his own jacked up version of it. I have a dream. It's not coming true today, but it's the closest to coming true in a while. I have a dream of, how Punk sometimes recreates Bret Hart spots and people do these tribute spots. I have a dream of some young guns seeing the Brock Lesnar John Cena match from SummerSlam many years ago and just in the dozens of suplexes and then eats the pin, and it's just literally he fucked him up. I think in all the years of wrestling, because wrestling's all about subverting the expectation, and that this might be the one. I like, of course, what you said, 7 to 10 minutes is the good prediction, but if I could get 7 to 10 and literally Pat doesn't get off anything, that also works for me. That would just be
just a total murder.
Sadistic part of me would also enjoy that. Okay, I think that might be as good as the rest of the matches are. I think that one had a lot of meat on the bone there to talk through, because next up we have the Intercontinental Championship between Dominic and Penta, and as much as kayfabe we should be saying Penta all day, the Dominic train just started rolling, and I think all of us were very happy to see him win at Mania, so surely that continues, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think I agree. It's too soon. They're doing something with Dominic with Finn. Maybe that's the direction to go.
Yeah.
So this Penta, it's Penta. He's a big deal. I think he's already mentioned it. I think they'll transition him into tag stuff with Rey Fenix.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm also, as I see how few matches we have left on the card, I think the deal breakers and actual bits where we're going to diverge in opinion might come down to our made up questions at the end, because yes, yet again, we're all looking in the same thing. I'm also going for Dominic Mysterio. I think there's just, mate, it's such, again, this is where wrestling is so unique and other things just cannot duplicate it. My guy got booed for years passionately, and then the way he got cheered for winning the IC belt at Mania was it's just so organic. Of course he gets, we wanted him to win it. He won it. He wasn't like it wasn't a dead cert. I think we were all over the shop with our predictions, if I remember correctly. Let's see.
Let's double check. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were saying we got you got it right. Well done. Christopher said Penta, and I said Bron Breaker. So yeah, it wasn't a dead cert. But then there you go. After it's just like I think a big thing with wrestling fans is just sometimes time investment. Yeah. And like he's done his time now. He's taken his lashes. He's done his initiation, and the way that he's gone through some peaks and valleys and has stayed committed to the bit and really enjoys the bit. Any clips on the socials, Ali? I'm not sure if you've seen of like him doing media and calling Ray his deadbeat dad still, and it's just good stuff. He's great.
He's great. I feel like it will end with a somehow babyface turn.
Of course,
but not yet. And it will end with a babyface turn and probably reuniting with Ray. Oh
my god, the reuniting with Ray at some point. Every time he chats shit about that guy, I'm like, oh, one day they're gonna hug on screen and we're all gonna cry. In all these years now we've been doing this, it's been few and far between us getting to actually watch in person. But I think one of the highlights of the three of us watching in person was, I think we got to see the first Dominic heel turn.
Maybe.
When he joined Judgment Day.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I think
was it Money in the Bank?
I can't remember when it was.
I don't know.
I saw a clip of it the other day, and I was like, "Oh, we were all together," because we literally celebrated like it was a win, like the goal scoring moment. He finally did the thing.
Kick him in the dick.
Oh my god! Now that's one that for the non-initiated, I always find hard to explain with wrestling: the sacred importance of the dick.
Yeah.
It's just a tricky one. Next up, a fatal four-way because we have not fully left the multi-mans behind. We have Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship defending against LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, and Damian Priest. This is almost like a best performers from Mania little showcase because all of them did bits, bro. I got to give them credit, especially Priest and Jacob as just one-on-one was fantastic. I thought, Knight and Jacob, and then Priest and McIntyre were really fun. So fuck it, let's put them all together and have some chaos. Their segment on SmackDown also was chaotic but passionate and fun. I'm actually into this. How about you?
Yeah, I'm into the match. I'm not that excited about a winner really. Like, you know what I mean? Like this.
You know what I mean?
I think a winner will be fairly clear. There's no exciting direction to go with with a title change, but the match is gonna be really fun.
So
I don't know where everyone goes after this, but
that's interesting. But just add more people to the next US.
Yeah, just go. Maybe this becomes the it's not that far away. Maybe this becomes Money in the Bank.
Oh mate, that's so true. That's so true. I think you do need, like, for me, this does feel like maybe a goodbye to some of these setups, hopefully, to some of these feuds, because they've had a good run, but like that really funny thing with wrestling where like they're one match away from like we all jump on it for being stale. Like I think this is the one you capitalize. Let's go our separate ways afterwards. That's literally just so Jacob against Damian and LA against Drew. LA against Drew feels too old too. We literally just did that. But like, you know what I mean? I do think one potential way we take this, I'm guessing we're both going for Jacob Fatu retain here.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
He's far too over, not too similar to Dominic. But I think one place, I don't know if it's quite the time for it, but it's when is Solo getting involved and when are they turning on each other? Is it here yet? I feel like they could play with it a bit longer. They don't necessarily need to cash that in yet, but it's coming.
I think it will come in a one-on-one feud. If Jacob will have a one-on-one feud with somebody, and Solo will either intentionally or accidentally cost him.
Love it. To be fair, he's won me back over with some of his just being a shit heel, like really thick, laying it on thick in terms of his smiling, being his advocate. It's such a funny thing because in kayfabe, it's like, okay, so you were really pushing to like try and out alpha Jacob, realized it wasn't going to work, and then just like passionately devoted yourself to being the manager. Like, what a pussy move, really. but
I do like, he's a bit of I like his doofus manager kind of role. Is quite funny.
It is. It's better than I would have thought.
And he's good at it. Just the sort of. And his shit talk's getting better. And
it actually is, his shit talk is getting better. It's just like almost letting him loosen up and be a bit more clownish. Like his whole thing was being serious for so long. He's actually got some good, when he loosens up a bit, it's actually really fun.
Clown chops. He's got good clown chops.
Yeah, unexpected. Especially, I don't know if you remember bits and bobs of his NXT run. I would not have expected him to have.
Yeah, he was serious in NXT as well, wasn't he? I think that was just about pre my weekly NXT watching.
Yeah. Now you're a devoted member. I would say this is how weirdly conditioned a wrestling fan's brain gets. For how silent and serious he was before, I was always like, he's not quite big enough to pull it off. Like he's a good sized lad, but in terms of like literally, I'm not going to say anything, but I'm hoping to terrify you. I'm like, come on, we have to save that for like the really scary lads.
I struggle to pick out how tall wrestlers are because A, because they're all quite big, and B, because they tell me lies about how big they are.
100%.
So my brain is like 5'8", but he's probably 6 foot.
Yeah, he's probably 6 foot, and I'm still out here being like, "You're not big enough, bro." Saying that as a 5'5" man. It's funny because the Masked Man Show, one of my favorite wrestling podcasts, David Shoemaker's always saying like, whenever I'm thinking about if a wrestler's going to work in the WWE, I try and imagine them next to Randy Orton. That's just such a standard specimen of what they're going for. And Joe Hendry did okay. He looked all right.
Yeah. I think so. I think I don't think Joe Hendry's ever going to be a world champ, but well, he's not a WWE world champ. Sorry,
not going to be a WWE.
He is a world champ.
Exactly, literally doing the thing. Did you like the RKO spot? By the way, I thought that was great.
Yeah. The turnaround RKO. No,
if he stayed on his smile for maybe a few more seconds, but like for me personally, I didn't quite get it in time, so I loved it.
Okay.
Like the camera getting in close, so you didn't see it until the last minute. Chef's kiss.
Perfect.
Really good stuff. Oh, to finish on the Jacob Fatu of it all, I think he's a really big cult hero, fan favorite now. His whole story of being the latest one of the family to get there, being in prison, seeming to be an absolute moonsault merchant madman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He seems.
No, I mean, I like the money match is probably to come later, but the money match.
And
Roman, yeah.
Oh, mate.
Absolutely. You just reboot. You do Bloodline 3.0 at some point.
Yeah, bro. Because apparently we'll never get Rock Roman because we live in an unfair and unkind world.
No, well, do you want to see? I don't want to see it.
I feel like I want to just because of the nature of how it was taken from us. Not to say they didn't do the right thing. It's just like he literally said the table line. We got gassed. That was what we wanted for years. Don't get me wrong. Like I was saying earlier, the match itself will probably blow, but it's almost like it's just going to be weird if we leave all the stuff without. I'll say it like this: if Rock's got 2 to 3 matches left, it would be weird if that wasn't one of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. So that if he does do matches again, that will be one of them.
If he does one, I get it. If you want to do Cody because there was a story there too, or bring up a new guy, maybe. I mean, one point we could maybe finish on as we get towards the main event. I'll just bookmark it here so you remember. Who's Cena's last match going to be? We should start thinking about that and predicting that. But first up, we will get to them. First up, we've got the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship match. We've got Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. Really interesting that for the women, this is what we've got as opposed to the world champs. But I'm here for it.
I'm here for this title actually getting some
shine,
PLE time. Yeah. Like you need to put it on PLE, otherwise it's not gonna. No one's ever gonna buy it.
Took a big dump on it for Mania, and then now they're trying to make up for it, I guess. And personally, I have found their promo battles fire. I am finally a Lyra guy. I'm a Lyra guy now. She has won me over.
She is great. Her promo work is way better than I thought it was.
Yeah.
There's not enough there. Like I know, I'm a hardcore. I know that Lyra was inspired by Becky. Lyra was trained a bit by Becky. And then brought over. I know about their NXT, their sort of face versus face NXT.
Yeah.
But does the majority know that? They just know from WrestleMania to now.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think we needed to be shown a bit more stuff. The turn needed to come, at least a week later. You do them. Look, we're champions. We're friends. Do a promo about how friendly they are and how. Tell me all that stuff in a segment between them. then do the turn a week later.
I hear that. That's interesting because it's squeezed in. I do agree. But in terms of Becky, just looking at her individually, I think this was a really fun way to play it because this is really good for Lyra. Because she's being a little bitch and I love it, and she's chatting shit about whether it's the fiance or dude, the shit she's saying about Bailey, the way it blurs the kayfabe line and gets me genuinely annoyed. She's doing terrific work then, right? So I'm like, you can't say that. Stop calling her trash. And I'm like, oh, their feud later was gonna rock, and hopefully, in real life and kayfabe, Bailey actually does get a bit inspired by it and steps the fuck up, because this narrative that is true of her always being just a bit not quite there with the other 4 horsewomen and all this stuff. I
don't think it's down to her. I don't think it's down to. It's not down to effort. It's just down to preference of.
Right. Yeah. That's fair. There was these clips that came out of the Chris Van Vliet show where I feel like she now. I totally agree with you. It's not down to effort. She's had her big standout moments, and whether it's the Sasha matches, the leader of Damage Control, like she's been the one for a while. It's just in those Chris Van Vliet clips, she almost was like putting herself down of not like quite doing enough to get there. I think she's done better than a lot of us thought, especially coming off the hugger gimmick. We didn't know she had it in her. But I think there's another level she could reach still. I just hope for her, because she seems, it's one of those classic tropes in wrestling of like, oh, the real life person is actually too nice to be the arsehole and kick down doors. I just worry about that sometimes. But then sometimes it works out with your Daniel Bryans. So
yeah, it does. And I saw one suggestion was that does Becky return here either to cost Becky or the other way around? Did she can't beat and join him?
Oh, hold on a minute. What are we saying?
Becky.
Okay.
And who else have you got out at the moment? Who lost at Mania? Who's everyone hates?
Charlotte. Oh mate, if you did those 3 all together,
that'd be mental, right?
Give me the merch now.
Yeah,
but that's not gonna. Do you know why? Because as we
I can't say it, but that would be, and then you'd just be like. Then you just tease bringing back Sasha the whole time, even though she's not going to.
Gorgeous, keep bringing it up in promos. That's so good, bro. Do you know why it won't happen? Because firstly, I can literally just even sense, like in a spidey sense sort of tingle, I can sense the management meetings where they try and figure out like, okay, so these 3 women, they've had a lot of history, and it's like, nah, it's just not worth it. They're all gonna butt heads. They've got to. So that for one, maybe, but also because all my fantasy booking fantasies for the Cena Rock of it all that we'll discuss now, that were just fucking shat on the way. And for me, in an optimistic moment, it was going to be Rock, Cena, and a third man. They were going to do a whole thing. Could have been CM Punk, could have been a triumvirate of evil, just sort of holding everyone down. Could have been so lit. And then what did we get, Ali? Let's think back to the optimism we felt before night 2. We were all saying the Cena win. So sure, we got what I wanted in that sense. But god damn, that match sucked. I almost perversely enjoyed it as a troll job. I'm not going to lie to you. How about you?
Well, yeah, we didn't get Rock, but we got Grammy Award-winning rapper Travis Scott. Why? What did you want?
Oh mate, what did I want? Fucking hell, mate. I can't believe it. Like, when they always talk about like, being in Gorilla and we're watching it go down. Like, surely if you're part of booking that, you're like, oh, they might actually boo us out the building and like throw stuff. Like, how could you be? Mate,
it wasn't quite that. The crowd reaction was fine. No one properly booed out of the building. They were booing the heel.
Yeah, this is the thing.
I think everyone was still hyped up about the situation. 17. And the title. That the match didn't matter as much.
Yeah. I guess it's such a funny one of all those tens of thousands of people traveling and all the people watching around the world, and it's just like Rock and Triple H didn't quite figure out how to thread that needle of like, if I had paid all those hundreds to be there, with how the ads were going and the build up, I would have been 100% convinced I'm seeing The Rock live for the first time. I would have been gutted afterwards. Gutted.
Well, the Rock's distanced himself from, hasn't he?
He totally has.
Just like, nothing to do with me. I just rolled in and started this thing, but it's nothing to do with me.
Bro, it's so wild to me, all that shit. I'd love to know the ins and outs of it. Are you interested in the I can't remember what it's going to be called now, the Netflix series that they're going to do about the writer's room, where they're going to officially kill kayfabe off for dead?
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but
WWE Unreal? It's Unreal.
Unreal. I am not. I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
I don't know.
It's just not.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just don't. I don't care to see it.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
It's just going to put it in your head. Like if something weird happens and someone comes up with a good idea, and then you see them like this poor like trodden down writer get totally railroaded by someone else.
It's going to happen to at least one person.
God, that's just sad. Well, we know it's happening.
Yeah, we don't need to have it shoved in our face.
It happens. It happens in every writer's room. It happens.
Totally.
There's some guy at SNL that never gets a sketch on the air.
100%. It's like the thing I was just saying of like in my fans' imagination, I'm imagining management quivering in their boots about putting Becky, Charlotte, Bailey all together. I don't actually want to see that though.
No, exactly.
I like thinking it might be a thing, but like,
or like someone they'll show like someone coming up with an incredible pitch that never gets there. You're like, no, but I like that. I want it back.
Yeah, that would be frustrating. Here's a really good example to me. I was listening to a pod where they were convinced when they didn't give Karrion Kross a big spot on Mania, a bigger like more than just that little featured appearance, that they like really set up his promo stuff and really like gave it to him, which makes sense as a fan, right? But like the fact that we don't know that 100% is kind of what makes it lit. If you literally on the series saw them like beforehand being like, okay, this is your moment, really go in, tell the truth, and then you like see him getting pumped up and like shaking hands with management, then he cuts his promo about how he hates management. But mate, it can't, I don't know, you just have to
or it could be they keep going. Someone keeps mentioning, "Oh, how about Karrion Kross?" And they go, "Oh no." You just could see somebody gets buried by everyone just saying no to them on this show.
Yeah.
Or it's the inverse.
Yeah.
And they go, "We're good at editing. We're really professional."
Right.
And they don't show anything controversial.
Yeah.
And it's just dull as fuck.
Yeah, bro. Like, how do you
it's go one way or the other? It's
going to be the bland middle ground, isn't it? Where they sort of try like one controversial things just so we don't say it's too bland, and then it's going to be. So anyway, that's our little segment on Unreal, because I think when it comes to predicting Lyra versus Becky, I think we're going to keep it 100 still. We're all making the same pick every time. I'm predicting Ali because I'm picking Lyra Valkyria. How about you?
I was gonna do I go so we have something different and go Becky? I think that's the only one I'd want to go different.
Yeah. Are you tempted? What do you reckon? Lock it in, bro.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go Becky.
Do it. I mean, if you get it now and you keep up your winning streak.
Yeah.
Oh mate, I would be so.
We've got to do something different.
No, true. Fair play to you, because again, you get into the last one now, and I don't think we will. How they play this as a match, I'm not sure, but surely we have to continue the dominance of the GOAT, because it's John Cena versus Randy Orton for the billionth time. But this time, I was going to say, but this time something. No, this time, I guess it's just the last time.
Yeah.
John Cena's going to do the rounds now.
So? Yeah, he'll do all his former feuds, and then all of sort of the potential big feuds. Like, so I think we've got Orton now.
Yeah.
He'll do Punk at some point.
Hopefully Money in the Bank. That'll be cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think Drew because
Drew's had a lot of shit.
Drew deserves it. Exactly. Chatted a lot of shit about Cena holding people down, and he's one of the people that was there at the time.
Yeah.
And then there'll be another Cody match. Those are the only ones that for sure.
Yeah. I watched my first. I'm sure you're familiar because you're more familiar with the English podcast game when it comes to the Graps. I watched this Adam Books video.
Oh, I don't know.
So it's like, I think he.
Sorry, Adam Lumpier.
Yeah. I was watching his video on how he booked the last Cena run. It's fun. It's almost, he's so entertaining and clever, but like it's almost frustrating how much he goes into his fully his own other world. It's just like the more fun you have with his storyline, you're like, but they're not even going to touch this level of intricate detail. So in that level, it's frustrating.
He goes proper down the rabbit hole. Yeah,
and I
haven't watched it yet. But
yeah, it's good. Okay, so no spoilers for the theoretical fantasy booking he does, but I love the idea of after all the touring some of the old heads that you do kind of want to finish on passing the baton to a new guy, because I feel like we tried it with Austin Theory and now we got to try again. Not for you? Tell us.
So it would be for me. It would be for me. I can't see him doing it. I think it would be Cody.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cody saves wrestling.
Yeah. That, I mean, he does like to take the loss and then lick his wounds and come back the following year. Yeah. So if not before the end of the year in this case, if you did though get your Booker's hat on, and you got the pencil and you got to pick who it would be, who would you pick? Mate, the way that if it was Big E, if it was Big E, bro.
Big E would be insane. I would probably have, before the end of his run, have Cody with the title, have Cena turn face.
Yeah,
back to face with the title.
Wow,
people sort of twist back the other way.
Yeah,
and then I'd give it to this this new sort of Dangerous Alliance guys. Maybe give it to Braun.
Wow. I mean, it feels like he's right there, ready for that moment now. It's kind of crazy, all the Alliance, just how that. Yeah, I really like how they've culminated with all this combined energy. Heyman, Seth, and Braun. So yeah, I can see that. I think whether it's Adam or other people, I think weirdly. People have fantasy booked maybe finally Chad Gable gets some shine. That would be amazing. I mean, he's really gotten better the last couple of years. I still don't quite see him on that level, but
I can't see that.
I think in Adam's video, to be fair, I think he does a whole side quest of like he finally does the Kurt Angle storyline and those two come together. So Kurt can sort of figure into the end of Cena's run and sort of like he was the first. Yeah. I do like he's got that wrestling brain rot of liking to come back around and reference history, so I appreciate that from him. I don't know, for me, I agree with you. It's got to be Cody saving wrestling again. Fully makes sense. In terms of this match, John Cena is a lock. I'm putting it in.
Yes,
if not for you saying Becky Lynch, we would be literally uniform here.
So I can't see Cena winning this without some kind of shenanigans again. I can't see him winning any match without shenanigans.
Dude,
while he's a heel.
Very quick one. I know we've got a hard out coming soon. I'm going to keep this quick, but like, let alone the shenanigans of it all. John Cena, kayfabe in real life, blah, blah, blah. He's not the best at the thing anymore. He's not the best at wrestling. Randy is also older. How the fuck are they going to do this?
Yeah,
just slow it down. I know they're the best at all the in-between stuff. I know the facials, the timing, the reading the audience. They're the goats for a reason. I get it. But like without any added element, I'm sort of worried for them. Are they just going to kill the ref 2 seconds in and get lots of gimmicks going?
They're both such slow wrestlers.
Yeah, so methodical.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll troll the audience with just the slowness of it all. I think there's some, whether it's Unforgiven or something, there's some match. Did you see on the socials, they're clipping it out a lot, saying, I wonder if they just run this back where I think Randy slaps the ref.
Maybe, yeah. They've been doing that in the build-up to this. They're like, look, this is the good matches they had. These 2 out of 40.
2 out of
40, yeah.
Well, it's going to be 2 out of 41. But hey, at this point, I would pop if fucking Travis Scott came out again.
Yeah, fair. No, maybe it'll be someone mid card that we're not thinking about suddenly. Like it's Cena's little like avatar.
Yeah,
when he's not around.
At some point, a slightly longer term prediction. It's not for Backlash, but at some point, I think Rock is now going to want to save face and show up all the podcasters who chatted shit, and he's going to want to like try and swerve us and act like him and Triple H planned this all along and all this shit, and he's going to show up at an event you wouldn't expect and try and tie the storyline back together. I think it's too soon quite yet. Feelings are still a bit fresh, but that is my long-term prediction before SummerSlam. I think Rock comes back and does like a storyline that actually tries to make sense of the Travis Scott and the Cena. He's like, see, this was always the plan. Should have stayed on your chair and enjoyed the ride, like I said, blah, blah, blah. Let's do some actual tiebreakers, Ali, because we have 3 questions. Like I just mentioned, will The Rock show up? Which I feel like we know the answer to. Name someone who will interfere in a match, and how many double axe handles will John Cena do? The double axe handles, I've had my guess since I wrote the question. It's going to be 4. Easy 4. Christopher went for 3, so I'm going for the over.
So I'll go for the under. I'll go for 2.
Love that. Okay, Christopher, for name someone who will interfere in a match, has gone for Finn Balor. Who are you saying, Ali?
Do we just go pure Judgment Day and we go Finn Balor, Carlito, and JD McDonough?
They do like to interfere, those boys. That's how they earn their money.
Yeah, but that seems like too easy. I think
it does seem too easy. Even you know what? I think it doesn't quite mean they do the big split yet, but I'm going Solo Sikoa. I think he gets a run out.
Okay. So I will go. I need the point, I think. So I'm going to go Carlito.
I like that. He needs the point because he tried to make the show a little bit more entertaining with one different pick, and now he's worried about it. He went too off on one there. Christopher wrote, no chance for Will The Rock show up, and I think we're all back to saying no.
No chance. He's he's got his movie career back. He's got an A24 film. He's got a Scorsese film.
Yeah, it doesn't need us.
He's back. He doesn't need wrestling anymore until those two things marginally underperform. And he has to justify why they've done that, and then he has to come back.
Do you know what? I didn't quite get the first go round of Black Adam doing badly and him really getting in his feelings about it. Were you paying attention to that? Was it really funny?
I don't really pay attention to DC, but yes, I find it quite funny. It just it's the selective. Selective metrics that he'll use to say things.
Yeah. I do remember one really long post where he was writing about how good it was doing in certain ways, Black Adam.
Yeah.
And just all like the comments on that post, let alone general commentary, was just how shit it was. And just like, I loved the cognitive dissonance there. To be fair, I have made my prediction he'll show up at some point, but it's definitely not going to be a Backlash. But overall, I think we're predicting quite a fun card. I'm pretty into every match going. The one thing it lacks in terms of the way I'm seeing it is like a surprise moment, which is always the thing is, I'm aware of the contradiction. I'm a wrestling fan who loves surprises. If you gave it to me every event, though, it wouldn't be a surprise.
Exactly,
So I get it. But this is going to be a really fun card for the hardcores. Ali, do we have any parting words? You've come off a win for WrestleMania. I feel like you're slightly more, just to make the predictions entertaining, you don't have it as in the bag this time around with your guesses. We're all two on the same page.
Yeah, I feel like if I had gone safe, I'm getting close to a year without defeat. So maybe I should have gone safe.
Streak. The streak, that's crazy.
Yeah,
but I mean, the safeness isn't even. I don't think it's like that overwhelmingly sure Lyra's winning. It's more just you'd stay in line with us two making that pick, right?
I think that's the only real question on the card.
Yeah, right. And I've got this funny, speaking of Unreal and all the kayfabe of it all, I've got this funny thing of like everyone backstage being like, no, but you can't put it on Becky again. You can't do another Becky title run, and just for that reason. But that obviously isn't the entirety of the book. And they could make such a fun story of her winning, being a shit heel. Lyra has to climb back. I don't know, man. Maybe you've got it in the bag.
Bailey gets involved back again. I don't know.
Yeah, I like your Bailey. Yeah, dude. Oh man,
Bailey needs. They're building that. Bailey will be.
Bro,
will be in that.
I'm sorry, but you've now ruined my brain with the three horsewomen of it all. The three horsewomen. Oh my days. Okay, this has been a really fun episode. Christopher, we'll get you back soon. I like the idea of we keep the predictions sheets going, so let's keep the podcast going. Whichever two of the three of us are around, let's keep this rolling. It's been really good to catch up with you, buddy, and enjoy the wrestling.
Thanks a lot, man. You too. See you soon.
See you soon, bro.